Yes, a hearty welcome to another edition of the program Familiarize with the Law, coming to you from Star Television, Channel 21, where we broadcast live from our Media One Center, 3 Mama Street, Brookfield, in Freetown. My name is Abdul Rahman Kamara. My guest in the studio, I have with me here Moses S. Mambu. He's from Health for All Coalition. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. Mind you, Abidol Lefenda, I'm the Executive Director for Child Welfare Society.
Okay, Child Welfare Society. Also with me in the studio is Mohammed Kone, a colleague of mine. Mohammed.
Good afternoon, our listeners and viewers, and thank you for having me.
Great. Elkas Samo.
Thank you for having me.
Great. The issues we're going to talk about today in this program. First off, we're going to look at the much reported aspect of violence and intimidation. We're going to look at the establishment of the transition team, the creation of a single treasury account through the executive order of the president yesterday. We're going to look at the street trading, the resumption of it, and also the cross-party committee. And perhaps if there is a little bit of time on our side, we'll provoke the thought as to what type of cabinet we anticipating to have.
Cleaning Saturday also.
Yeah, the cleaning Saturday, that's great. Let me start with you, Mohammed Kone, on the aspect of violence and intimidation across the country.
In the first place, as a people, this is something we should not tolerate, the aspect of violence. I mean, elections are over and we have to get back to normalcy. We know tensions were high, and that is why we have to get back to normalcy, because as a people, as Sierra Leoneans, we are one people. I mean, in as much as we have our diverse views, different views, we are one people and we have no other place to go. But also, in as much as we say we are one people, I mean, we have to go back to normalcy, we have to embrace each one another. But when you are in governance, there are certain things you shouldn't do. Yeah, I mean, we know a lot of government officials have been embarking on intimidation, I mean, bullying other people, and that is why we are having all of this. And that is why I always say, when you're in governance, you should be careful what you do, what you say, because what is happening now is not different from what has been happening even when we are having government in power. So that is why I'm saying people should be careful. But notwithstanding that, there is nothing that should provoke people to go to that kind of extent. Because if you say yesterday you slapped me and today I have the opportunity to slap you, then we are going nowhere. If you are somebody that was stealing yesterday and some other person says, because this man was stealing, so I myself will come and steal, then you are worse than that person. So that is why we should not tolerate the aspect of violence that is taking place within our country. I think it is high time that our authorities, I mean, especially the new administration in power, to stamp on those petty violence that are taking place. I call it petty violence because it has not gone to that stage whereby we bring in the military or whatever. But the police have the mandate to take up state security, and that is why the new administration should make sure that the violence that is taking place across the country, they should put a stop to it. I know somehow it might be difficult somehow, but with your authority, I think just coming out to say we have put a stop. I mean, I'm playing to
when you say it might be difficult to a larger extent, could it be interpreted to mean pretty much impossible?
Yeah, because I know people have been hurt. There are a lot of people that have been hurt before this time, and that is why we are seeing the speed of violence taking place.
So in your view, could that be justification?
It's for me, I mean, it's not a justification that whatever way you look at it, I mean, if somebody had slapped you yesterday, it gives you no leverage to slap that person because you have the power today. If you are doing the same thing, meaning you are worse than that person. Show the person that you are matured enough, and that is why you slapped me yesterday, but today I have the opportunity to slap you, but I will not slap you. I will embrace you because we are all one. You are part of me, I'm part of you. And that is why we should move together.
But the wider implication, going back to your words that when you're in governance, you have to be mindful the way you conduct yourself. But given the prevailing circumstances as we speak, it may seem to many people that those that are currently suffering could be victims of mistaken identity.
Yes, to a larger extent, and that is why I'm saying, when you are in governance, you have to be careful. We know there are a lot of people that have been hurt before this time. We know there are a lot of families that have been, disadvantaged as a result of people that are in power. I mean, we saw what happened in 2007, just after President Kumar came into power. We saw the trail of violence that was taking place. And today, that's the hands have changed, government have changed. But even from 2007 to today, leading from 2012 to now, we've seen a lot of people that have been disadvantaged. But that does not give them leverage to go on the rampage or to revenge, as we could say, to revenge. Because if somebody was bad yesterday, you should not be that kind of person. Because if you follow the trend of that person, it means you are worse than that person. For example, if I have been criticizing you that Abdurrahman, you are not doing your show in a better way, and I take up your seat and started doing what you've been doing, though I've been condemning what you've been doing, and I started doing what you've been doing, it means I'm worse than you.
Okay.
Because if I've been condemning you that what you are doing is not good, then I should make sure that I do much better than what you've been doing.
Okay.
But if I condescend again doing what you've been doing, it means I'm worse than you. So that is why I'm telling people that violence is not part of the Sierra Leonean society. That is not part of us. So we should move away from it. I mean, even I've been hearing people that are saying they'll bring down government properties or whatever. I mean, the government that you are supporting, if you happen to burn down a police station, may the Lord forbid it, or a government building, a government vehicle, the same government you are supporting, that same government will have to replace those property. And what are they replacing them with? Are funds. And those funds that should be used for better things, I mean for healthcare, for education, will now be used to replace those things that we've destroyed. Meaning, we are taking that government aback. So that is why, I mean, violence of every form should not be tolerated.
Okay. El Castano.
Yes, Sierra Leoneans should understand that an eye for an eye, as they do say, would blind the whole world. And quite apart from that, I used to tell Sierra Leoneans that peace itself is very much expensive. It's the most expensive commodity to lay hand on. Therefore, we must denounce violence in all forms and shapes. Violence is not part of our Sierra Leonean culture. Yes, we know that some people are hurt. Some people think this is the way to seek revenge. But like I used to tell people, we are looking out now for the way forward. We are looking at how to provide a corresponding solution. So in the future, this ugly occurrence will not take place. What many people have not been able to actually take into cognizance is the very fact that this problem, the ugly head of violence, rose to this magnitude as a result of leadership failure. I am not saying here that President Kumar, but judging from if you look at the decade civil war, the handwritings are still written on the wall. I'm sure we've still not been able to learn. We have the SLPP government, and we saw what happened when the APC government left power, was booted out of power democratically through the ballot box when the APC government came into power 2007. I am sure this is where we got it wrong. If past successive governments have come out strongly to take a remedial action, I don't think where we are, we should have been where we are now today. Like for instance, those who went to the SLPP party headquarters to vandalize and actually loot the headquarters, if they were being brought to book, I don't think whether, no matter the kind of government, whether NGC or whatsoever, I don't think whether people will use that particular situation, transition, change of government. It is possible that when in the next 10 years, we have another set of government. Are we going to continue with this trend? That means Sierra Leoneans are not learning. We are not moving from point A to point B. And development is a process. Government is a continuity. We don't expect... Government is a continuity. Development is a process. And we don't expect Sierra Leoneans to say because party color A is not in power today, party color B is now in power, so you should exploit that situation to be on each other's throat. Some people, we should understand that some of this violence across the country, it is not like it is being caused by wholesomely by party supporters. Some people they've begrudged themselves. They are using this particular situation to avenge. You understand? Some either because they were not in good relationship. Some people because they were forcefully asked by their, how they call them, by their landlord, landlady. I had that situation. Landlord or landlady, they were asked to leave that particular premise, either because their association with party B, party C, and at the end of the day, those tenants are using now this opportunity to go and revenge and hit at their landlord, which is not fine, which is not good for Sierra Leone. I'm sure Sierra Leoneans should inculcate that idea of tolerance, that idea of embracing each other. No one will tell me that
if we are to actually reach up to such a situation, who do you think is responsible to take the lead in all of this?
The authorities.
When you say the authorities, specifically, who are you referring to?
The
government is in power.
the government that is in power. But mark you, the reason why I said the authorities, the government that is in power, they have specific responsibility assigned to certain people.
Like the Sierra police.
Exactly. We have the Sierra Leone police. Let's be honest here and sincere. We are not expecting President Julius Maada Bio to be chasing people to traverse the length and breadth of this country to be condemning violence when the Sierra Leone police, they have a leadership. What is the Sierra Leone police doing? The Sierra Leone police, they have a leadership. Currently under the leadership of Richard Moegbe and his deputy Al Sheikh. We are expecting them to be robust. The manner in which they were effective, the manner in which they were proactive, the manner in which they were vociferous to come out condemning violence, taking action, bringing perpetrators to book, shaming them. What is keeping them now? Why are they keeping quiet? Is it that they are not happy with the current transition? Is it that something is wrong? They have something on their need. Let us start to call things by their name, and let us call a spade and not an agricultural instrument. So if we miss that particular, if we miss it out, then meaning we are not being honest to ourselves.
Okay. Let me come over to Moses Mambo. You've heard the two gentlemen, Mohammed Kone and Elkas. Both of them, I think, they have a point of commonality that there ought to be effective leadership to actually mitigate what we seem to be experiencing now as a deep-seated violence and political intimidation.
I think I'm going to start my point with the adage that says, I think it was Julius Caesar that said, the good that men do, live after them. But now it's the evil that men do, now live with them. For me, the whole picture, let's leave the Julius Maada Bio government out of this. Let's position two key institutions into all this for now. They have the greatest responsibility, the ONS and the police. These two institutions are bigger than Julius Maada Bio and the entire SLPP put together. They have been there forever. Mind you, after the war, we had Cape Bidu. A lot of resources were spent on security sector reform, which was a course that I did. we reformed the entire security sector, and under Tijan Kaba we brought in the ONS, the Office of National Security. And mind you, these are offices that have been there forever. In terms of security, internal security, it is their sole responsibility to provide internal security for the citizenry of this country. Few questions you want to ask. What is the key role of ONS internally? Because for me, they are not effective. Maybe they are only effective externally. The reason being.
Apologies for coming in. As much as I know on the establishment of the Office of National Security, I dare say they are existing on the basis of coordinating security business.
That's where I'm coming. Thank you. They did not stop there. They are also there to ascertain or to profile early warning signs and hotspot area. They identify early warning signs and hotspot areas for conflict or violence and transfer those hotspot areas and early warning signs to the Sierra Leone police for action. Mind you, they don't take action. So your question now will be, as an office that is coordinating security matters, all right? Sierra Leone is 7 million people. Nairobi alone is 9 million people. Nairobi alone, let's leave Kenya out of it, it's 9 million people. So can this ONS tell us that both of them cannot spot hotspot areas when it comes to electioneering matter? No. That was why, in the first place, I was criticizing the issue of MACP. That MACP is not necessary if we have a robust security sector system. For example, the police have a military wing, which that military wing is trained and capacitated to provide internal security and respond to riots. All right? Mind you, civilians don't have gun or bullet or grenade. They are only machetes and stones. And the police have equipment to react to such situations. Now, let's put, when the 25% was announced in the first round, clear example for us to now bring in the security sector into the picture. What happened? 25% was announced and APC took the lead. What happened at PZ? We saw a lot of riots at PZ, isn't it? Yeah. A lot of skirmishes at PZ. That was early warning sign to the security sector. Now, and they have situation room. When you look at the southeast, another early warning sign. The southeasterners don't travel. If you look at the southeasterners, their focus is education. If they travel outside the southeast, it's for educational purposes. The northerners are business people, isn't it? The number of northerners that are in the southeast, you can't compare to the number of southeasterners that are in the north, which tells you, because of the tense rivalry between SLPP and APC, and both dominance in both regions, you can clearly tell that the security sector situation room should have mapped a way forward on how to respond to violence in the case it occurs. And they must know that it will occur because there has been precedent. 2007, there was precedent. And the precedent was set badly. As he rightly said, few days ago, I saw videos. I surprised when I saw videos of incidents that took place in 2007 at the SLPP party of you, which tells you that citizen journalism have been keeping those evidences to be used when the day comes. And that is exactly what we saw. So the security sector could have said, hey, we saw violence in 2007 in their situation. Now what happens? For example, on the night of calling the result, let's declare a sit home. Nobody should come out. Deploy, especially the southeast. Deploy. That is why in high-profile, sensitive security nations, NEC have the mandate to inform the security sector who is going to win. Intelligent security sector, who is going to win. So they will plan accordingly. Because they should have that mandate. It's a security matter. They will plan accordingly. And 3 to 4 hours before the results are announced, the ONS should know who is the winner. And then prepare accordingly and take on the stage. For example, they should have known that SLPP is going to win. And they should know that Northerners are more in the southeast than how Southeasterners are in the north. And then prepare for that. For example, in Bo and Kenema, they should have said in Bo and Kenema, for the night and the whole day of the calling of the result, everybody should stay home, just like the Ebola. You stay home because when you are angry, your reaction at that moment is negative. But when you give yourself time to cool off, your celebration will be normal. You understand? But they do not do that. So we ask ourselves as civil society, we then go back to the security sector. What is the relevance of MACP? What has been the relevance of the ONS and the police. Because with all the security apparatus, houses have been burnt, party offices have been burnt, people have been chapped, people have been killed, people have been displaced. So you ask yourself your question. Mind you, 2023, ONS will come again with MACP. Why? They say, we have noticed hotspot areas, we have noticed. That's what they will tell us again. So we are going to introduce MACP. And that's a failure on our institutions. Because what happens in security sector reform, you grow. You remember when Kibidu came, at some point, the British now told us that your security is now at a peak to compete. So we are leaving. They left. So we must reach a point now where the government will tell us, the people say, we are no longer going to use MACP in elections because the capacity of the police and ONS are now built to a capacity where they can handle situation.
Okay.
I just want to make some points here. I mean, in as much as blame is being placed on the security sector, especially the ONS and the police, but the strength of the police is around 10,000. Is that not so?
12.
Yeah, 12,000. If the population of 7,000, if the population of 7 million want to descend on that police has nothing to
My
do.
brother, it's not 7 million.
I'm
7 million cannot descend.
I'm coming.
These are the young people we are talking about.
I'm just saying, let me land. If a population, we have a 7 million population, let's just say 20,000 population want to descend on a 10,000 police or a 12,000 police, the police will not be able to do them anything. So what I'm saying, my point here is that I mean, we know people have been hurt. We know there are a lot of people that have been hurt, but it takes also leadership to come out and say something and talk to the people. But also again, is the police having the kind of support they are supposed to have at this point in time?
They will tell you yes.
I'm coming. Is the ONS having the kind of support
they will tell you yes
they are supposed to have? Because it's not just, I mean, sometimes if you see policemen or security apparatus sitting idly or sitting as if they are not doing nothing, we expect them to do something. Maybe sometimes they've not got the support. I mean, I'm not putting a case for them, but I'm also asking those questions so that we come to a leverage whereby, I mean, because security aspect is not just one man's show.
True.
It's a collective responsibility.
Thank you.
That is why, for me, the leadership of the Sierra Leone People's Party, headed by Julius Maada Bio, have the obligation, have the onus to protect lives and property.
Yes.
And that is why I'm still expecting him. I'm still expecting the president to come out in a robust manner, talking to his people, talking to his supporters, and also giving the police the kind of support needed, giving the ONS the kind of support needed to put this violence at our back.
My brother,
I have a contrary view.
I'm coming. I'm not making a case for
yeah, I know. Don't waste your time. What you are saying,
You
two issues.
already,
What you are saying, Abraham.
I have to comment a little bit. I think Mohammed is just to conclude on his submission. Let's give him time.
that is what I'm saying. That is why that leadership, because leadership is not a child's play. And when leadership speaks, when you I mean, just imagine, just few days when Julius Maada Bio announced that people should go to their workplace at 8:30, go to ministries, go to government department and see what is happening there.
Okay, let me just recall.
And again, when I mean, they've also put a ban on timber trade.
No.
I mean, all of these have come into force.
Okay, no, few things, please. Just let us clarify few issues. When he was sworn into office, the next morning, the Saturday, what happened? We saw the leadership of APC. All right. First of all, for the first time, you saw the president grumbling on BBC, saying that his brother Samoa Kamara did not congratulate him on his victory. He talked about that on the media, which was a slap on the face of Samoa Kamara and the APC.
Was it equally a slap on his own face when Ernest Bai Koroma was announced the winner in 2012?
Exactly. No, exactly so. But Ernest Koroma did not say that in any podium, that my brother Julius Maada Bio have not congratulated me. We don't have that on record. But we have on record.
So did it make a case?
No, it make a case. The case there was that he, as the president, is not ready for vengeance. That's one. Point number two. The APC and Samoa Kamara went to his house. They went to his house and they spoke. All right? And he came out and said, I am condemning violence. Thirdly, both Samoa Kamara and Julius Maada Bio belong to the same parish. And the Catholic parish, the Catholic mission, played a very key role. We saw them on Sunday. They made statements, both of them together. That could have coiled some of those situations you are speaking about. Now, The bottom line is, you remember when Samoa went to Kenya?
So what is pretty much different from the emphasis of Mohammed Khan?
Yeah, can I come in?
Yeah, you will. Don't worry. Let him
Okay.
learn.
The difference is Julius Maada Bio, the voice of Julius Maada Bio in coiling this particular situation is very much relevant and important. Point understood clearly. But you can also understand that this is a weak whole president in the Republic of Sierra Leone. There are apparatus. He has given that. I have heard him say he's not for violence, he stands against violence, even his speech that he gave on the day of his swearing in. But mind you, the point I wanted to make was Samoa Kama himself started laying the premises for violence when he went to Kenema. How? When he went to Kenema, he said, "My God, is this Kenema?" Which tells us in our face that he himself have not been to Kenema for a while. He said, "Kenema have been left out of the development agenda of our government. Give me power, I will make Kenema." You know what that implies? In security terms, do you know what that implies? Now the people of Kenema will say, "Oh, so it was a deliberate attempt by this government that because we are not supporting them, so they neglected us."
Are you looking at this from the particular to the general?
No.
Could the wardens of Dr. Samora Kamara not have meant to have been seen by many people
Kaju
as a very honest disposition?
Thank you. Now the point to that is,
If I say Kenema is backward, it could be the stark reality. I'm
Yes.
honest.
okay,
Samora Kamara went to the podium during the debate and he said there were challenges within the APC.
yes,
Well and fine. He was acknowledged and granted many applause because he did say many people perceive him to be pretty much honest.
Okay.
How could that be tied up to insecurity?
thank you. The point to that is one key one. Our education or literacy rate of our country is 85%.
No, you helping them to think that way.
No. I'm coming.
Are you helping them to think
No,
that
we are
way?
not. It's fact. Surveys are proving that the education level, the way I think and the way you think, is different from how the
Are
layman
we talking
thinks.
about
Again,
No, it's not academic. It's not academic.
Again,
It's not
let me
academic.
ask you
Yeah, I
before
get
we
you.
proceed. Elkas is here to come in.
Yes.
In this case, in your words, do you think that is a kind of deductive reasoning or is an inductive reasoning?
Well, it is an deductive reasoning. You know why? Sierra Leone's population is very complex.
But the margin of error is huge.
Yes, but the complexity to that is, there's a complexity to that. The complexity to that is the sensitivity of the issue of tribe and regional belief.
Okay, let me hold you a little bit.
Yes.
You've made a point. Yes, Elkas.
Yes. I actually.
Do you see the discussion moving towards an academic stunt?
Yeah, honestly, jaw-broken words started coming out. Honestly, this is very much serious. But I don't. To me, I must say here authoritatively say this issue of blame game, especially when some people want to blame the current leadership, especially President Julius Maada Bio. I don't think whether. Let me come in.
A quick one. Mohammed, I'm not taking brief for him, but as a presenter here, I must say I heard him well. I'm old enough to understand what he said. That he re-emphasized the point that there ought to be effective leadership. That's what he said.
I just
He
want
never
to
blame him.
Yeah,
in anything.
no, I am not saying here he blame him. I said literally, when somebody speaks something, it connotes something. You understand? It could be me. It could mean this way or that. But what I want
you still meandering. To
no,
say
I'm not
wrong.
meandering. What I had wanted to lay bare here is the very fact that honestly, we must first try to understand that he has taken the effective leadership role. How? In this is the I must say openly that we must condemn. We must commend President Julius Maada Bio for coming out openly to condemn violence in all forms and shapes. He did that at the National Stadium. That is to tell you that if you think, in the full view of the public, if you think you love Julius Maada Bio, you cannot say you love
And
into your hand.
one thing that
That is
actually
just
struck
and then
me is that
secondly,
they said, for want of better word, if you feel say you go do anything way bad, you feel say me, Julius Maada Bio, president,
Will protect you.
I know will protect you.
Thank you.
That's just what. So why are we actually being flip flopping in our argument instead of actually first of all commending him for coming out strongly to denounce and actually condemn those who are using the SLPP political party as a smoke screen to go and perpetrate violence.
Okay.
The leadership has condemned that. Then secondly, this is very much important. This is
The condemnation by words must be accompanied by actions.
That's what. Now let me tell you. This is just what.
So let me give you
how they put it into action.
Yeah, who will give the action?
Yes,
The police.
They put it in action. No, let me tell you. For President Julius Maada Bio to call the APC leadership and SLPP leadership to come together and form a team to investigate violence.
Invariably,
Meaning,
those are procedures for intervention.
exactly. That means he is providing effective and robust leadership.
Okay.
Now, what is key? Why is it that the Sierra Leone police are keeping quiet? We saw a situation. What happened when Samuel Kamara was about when Samuel Kamara was going to the National Electoral Commission to actually complete his nomination. We saw what happened at this place, St. John and Campbell Street. We saw how the police came in robust to repel that attack. They were very much swift. Had it not been for the intervention of the police.
Is your argument outwardly pointing towards the police being pretty much a little bit negligent?
They are not only negligent, they are not merely negligent, but their actions speak volumes of the fact that they have something underneath their sleeve, either to undermine the current leadership.
Could it be a situation where perhaps many people watching you may say you are very quick to jump to conclusions?
No, I am not quick to jump.
Okay,
because the facts are there. The facts are there.
Okay, let me hold you. You've made a point very clear. Yes.
For me, I will not say there's this aspect of negligence on the part of the police. I will not subscribe to that. What I'm saying,
or rather undermining the leadership of.
I will not even subscribe to that also, because each one of us here sitting here, we are all subjected to the government.
Good.
I mean, we are all part of the government, and we are supposed to do what is right. But again, Abdulrahman, you'll not be sitting here policing this program if you'll not be giving the support to police this program. That is what I'm still driving to.
Exactly.
I mean, have the police be given the kind of support they are supposed to have to coil down the kind of things?
I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think that
that
argument is
Hold on.
justifiable. That argument, that argument to me, that argument is baseless. With all due respect to my brother here.
I dare say you should not be
Overruled.
I mean, I'm not saying actually supporting the police. I know we have very good men in the police. We have very good, credible guys in the police. We know there are a lot of bad eggs within the police. But that notwithstanding that we should not give them the support. But also, we also as community people, have we also given them that kind of support that they're supposed to have? Because sometimes, I mean, we could notice violence taking place. We could notice things that are boiling underneath. But as community people, we fail to inform the police what is happening in our community. It's only when things go wrong that will be. No, I'm coming. This is fact. That most times we see things that are wrong happening within our communities, and we don't report to the police.
So emphasis is on neighborhood watch.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I mean, support could be from the government, support could be from communities, support could be from us also as journalists, support could also be from us also as civil society. I mean, because we know where the hotspots are, and that is why sometimes we also need to pounce on them to be effective in their work.
Okay, Abdulrahman, let me just make a few points, okay? And I'll call names. You know what's happening in the security sector? Especially the police?
I will save your breath from calling names.
Okay, now you know what's happening in the security sector? It's clearly most of them are afraid of their job, especially at the echelon where the president have the power to remove and replace.
So
that's
I'm
coming.
I was talking about
no,
support.
I'm coming. That is what is happening. That is number one, because we have seen where police officers, there are allegations where police officers have said, senior police officers have said, if SLPP win, they will resign.
Yes.
We have seen where AIGs have been subjecting people from the other side of political beliefs, you understand, to a lot of inhuman treatment. We have seen where appointment was made under the APC government for police officers.
How will you want us to believe this statement?
Yeah, no, I'm coming. We have seen.
No,
where,
I'm asking you.
Yeah,
how will you want the people listening, the audience now listening?
Thank you.
Those watching at you.
You know how?
To believe that what you're saying is right.
You know how? If you open the phone line now, I was saying in a sister program a few days ago that the only thing remained to be politicized under the APC government were the animals and the bushes. You know why? The people will believe, based on the fact that independence for the past 10 years have not been a culcation part of our institutions, especially national institutions who are supposed to be seen neutral, providing a neutral and impartial role in dispensation of justice and security for the people, have not been partial over the last 10 years. So it puts us in a place now where you think, including paramount chiefs, we saw where the paramount chiefs who in a situation like this now, the paramount chief, for example, for Nongoa, should play a very pivotal role. We saw where paramount chiefs in this country take sides, supported the government of the day, which they are supposed to be neutral. Today, most of them are scared and afraid of their job. We saw where community people, community leaders, who the people are looking up to, took sides during the campaign. Look at what's happening in Kono. If you listen to the paramount chief,
So in other words,
the reality on the ground.
in other words, you are justifying reprisal attacks.
well, I'm not. Nobody. We are civil society. Will never justify attacks on any human life. Every human life is important, and anybody that's perpetrating violence in this country should be treated as a criminal. Should be treated as a criminal, because His Excellency the President. In fact, one of the things I like their motto in their party for is that they said what? One people, one country. We are one Sierra Leoneans, and we are living in one country. That is a very good. It's a very good caption. And us, the supporters of these political parties, especially the winning team, when you win, there are negative aspects. All right, when you win, you perpetrate violence. It's a bad omen to the government.
You like that motto so well that you would like to be in it.
No, you know why I like that motto? In fact, for me, I want this president to declare a one country, one people, one country initiative, because Sierra Leoneans must start to think Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone. You remember when President Koma came? He came with OGI. OGI, what happened? It was politicized. We then came with attitudinal and behavior change, politicized. So it make the ownership. OGI was supposed to take the government to the people. It was supposed to be led by civil society. What happened? We saw political appointments came into OGI. UNDP was supporting us in OGI. They withdrew because they saw a political support. It was supposed to be an independent body, whereas government could interface with the people.
Perhaps I dare say you're flanking in the one people, one country, but not in it.
No, I'm not in it. I'm not in it. In fact,
I actually want to also allude to this one country, one people issue. I actually want to allude. That's a very, of course, Abdulrahman here is a fan to the one country, one people. How? Let me tell you how. Dr. Jimmy Kande has actually come out strongly campaigning that we should think Sierra Leone. That Sierra Leoneanness is lacking among us, and if you think that's Sierra Leoneanness, you actually want to react.
Professor is a model.
You know how,
exactly.
You
So
know
that's Sierra
you know
Leoneanness
how
is
we could get
lacking.
around that.
Yeah.
You know how we could get around that. I mean, over the years, successive government have neglected education.
That was what I've
people. It's not just this haphazard education. I'm talking about academic education, skills, and knowledge, which we've neglected over the years. And even if we have the one country, one people, with the same stack illiterate people within our society, people who do not have jobs, I mean, we'll continue to have this violence all around the place. For example, I'm working, you are working, all of us here are working. I mean, we don't have that guts, we don't have that kind of leverage to go and fight in the streets. There's no politician that will come to me for me to go and fight for him. I mean, so, but if we have that amount of mass of young people out there on the street who do not even have a future. They don't think they have a future.
Well, I dare say I'll not fight till the end of my life. Perhaps I will be beaten wrongfully.
No, this is very much serious.
Yeah, this is serious.
The point,
the
point Corner is
I
making.
say, I'm telling my colleague here that I don't intend to fight till the end of my life.
The
But
point,
rather,
the point,
I'll be beaten wrongfully.
Yeah.
because I mean, you have a future.
Yes.
You have something to fall back on. Even today, Abdulrahman, if you move from here today, you have another job.
Exactly.
Because you are qualified to have 1, 2, 3 jobs. Likewise, myself and our colleagues sitting here.
Yeah,
but there are people who do not even have that kind of leverage.
Sorry, I wanted. Mohamed Masako is calling my name. Masako is calling my name now, my colleague. We have so many things to actually discuss. Within this 1 hour, we have the transition team, we have the single treasury account. All of those things don't seem to be pretty much interested now, only on this violence and
because the violence is very much fundamental. And like Cornell was saying, this is a case we actually need to hammer home. You understand? To be honest, except somebody who don't want to be sincere with himself, but this is where President Koman got it wrong. You understand? The leadership failure on his part to provide that statesmanship, to serve as a symbol of unity, to unify Sierra Leone, to ensure Sierra Leone think that Sierra Leoneanness. As I'm borrowing from Jimmy Kane and Abdurrahman, that's Sierra Leoneanness. We actually need to reactivate that system. We should think Sierra Leone. If you are out there, if you go to Ghana, or when you move outside the shores of Sierra Leone, if you move out, one of the things
my cousin in Bo, and my brother in Matutuka, you see the cross-cutted lineage, both in Matutuka and in Bo.
Yeah.
You see how unique I am.
Yes.
Will be pretty much interested to know what the way forward, rather than muting up all of this.
Let me start by stating in my opinion.
I have a unique disposition.
No problem, sir. in my opinion, what if I can prefer solutions in ensuring we put an end to this particular ugly situation in the future.
I must be taking notes of all of this.
Yes. In the future, now and in the future, one of the things we should actually try to put in place is the independence and impartiality of our institution, which is very much important. Now,
what about attempt to hold a conference on the building blocks of unifying our
That's where I want to come.
It's actually important. Post-conflict.
I'm opposed to that. I mean, it's important, but for me, it's waste of resources.
Okay.
No,
now,
national dialogue conference is very much important.
Are we going to bring the street boys to that conference?
No, I'm coming.
We bring stakeholders, we bring experts together. We bring stakeholders, experts together. They bring corresponding solution. They will roll it over.
We have a consortium. What we are planning is to adopt the Ebola response type of addressing this issue, finally. Anytime from now, I think it's over the weekend, we are bringing all paramount chiefs across the country here to give them the onus that if there is a violence in your chiefdom, you are responsible. And they should mark a way forward, both the paramount chiefs and religious leaders.
Are they the law enforcement?
I'm coming.
Based on what has been happening.
No, I'm coming.
Okay.
Are you finding a simple way of dismissing them?
No, it's not. What we want to do is to have the community ownership aspects of how can we tackle violence.
Provided they are respected.
We have the community ownership aspect on how we can tackle violence. Violence cannot be tackled by the national level. Even if you assemble the whole Sierra Leone army, you take them and shoot the people, you only be doing more harm than good. So we are going to use existing structures at community level to see how we could canvass those community structures to see reasons to talk to their colleagues. All right, so that's what we are going to do. We are going to bring the paramount chiefs here to first of all pay courtesy call, and then hold a and then hold a and then to power.
No, courtesy call
to the power that means.
I'm coming.
Please let me finish. No, I'm coming. Please,
Okay.
I'm coming.
Don't
example,
ever dictate for these people.
no, I'm not. Why I'm saying this, the violence in Kono, if you follow the media, you will notice a paramount chief is at the center.
Yeah.
He even please don't rule out the issue of paramount chiefs.
I know.
We know what has been happening at community level, and they are the
Well, let me
custodians
take
of
this.
tradition.
Let me take this opportunity to tell our viewers that if you don't know Moses Mambu, even by the look of a wider gestures, well, continue. Moses, continue. You have the platform. Moses Mambu.
Okay, so no, we'll be coming in.
This Mambu, they have the way they talk and they gesticulate.
Yeah. So what we are saying,
If not Charles Mambu, it could be Moses Mambu.
what we are saying is, we need the Ebola type of approach where we took
Community ownership.
old community ownership
Okay.
on how we could address the issue of violence at community level. How? All of these political parties, both APC and SLPP, they have structures at zonal level.
Okay.
And we want to use those structures at zonal level
Okay.
and make them relevant. All right? Because if you bring youth from APC, youth from SLPP...
Maybe
at
this
every
is where
zone-
the framers of this decision foresaw the need for the establishment of a cross-party committee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, and that initiative, honestly, is the right initiative in the right direction. It's just about how to ensure they come together and make sure they implement it and actually name, shame, and bring to book those perpetrators. You understand? Now the president has done his own.
Well,
It is about providing the
I have my
leadership now.
invisible friend that is telling me, in this case, my instinct is telling me that why you don't go closer to touching on the point of those criminals that seize the opportunity to unleash all of these things. It couldn't be any party supporters, but they are seizing the opportunity
Yes,
to actually
exactly.
do wrong.
I said that I made a reference.
I did not
to,
get it right.
Yeah, I made a reference to the St. John Campbell Street incident and the manner in which the police
conducted-
came in to repel
No,
those
you
attacks.
you
And
made,
most
you
of
made
the
a
guys-
reference on the swiftness of the police.
Exactly, and then that most of those who perpetrated that particular act were not members of the ruling APC.
I
We are
disagree.
not some. I said most.
I disagree.
No.
I also
No, you,
disagree.
okay, you don't have justification for
No,
that.
there
because-
is. I also disagree.
No,
you know
yeah,
why?
I mean, the
You
leader of the
see-
Ghana was
you see,
arrested.
if we want to
was
solve the
Again,
problem-
overruled. Yes.
Allow
continue.
me to say something. You know why I am saying most of them, some of them were members of the APC, but they took advantage. I was in court. Some of them that I saw were mere rogues. Some of them were just criminals. We are just pickpocketers at Abacha Street. I saw some of them, and they were those who went to witness the court sitting. We are calling them this guy now in the pickpocket na Abacha Street. So they know them.
Okay.
And they were about to name and shame them,
Okay,
but we saw how
also
the
I've
police
just been
came
signaled
out.
by my technicians that engineers, sorry, that time is running for this program. Yes, Mohammed.
What I would say in this aspect, what about having President Bio and that of Dr. Samuel Kamara going out, reaching out to communities and talking to them? For me, it's a better way to solve this violence. And secondly, those perpetrators, you bring them to book. Because otherwise, impunity is something we should not tolerate. Because when you tolerate impunity, and that is why that is where the past government failed. There are a lot of criminals that are doing the wrong things. But then, as I keep saying, how many of them are at Panemba Road? For me, none. Except those that are picking pockets at Abacha Street or whatever. Or those that are actually perpetrating violence. When it comes to politics, they are all freedmen walking on the street of Freetown, or walking on the street all over the place. I mean, we've not been able to deal with them. For example, if you go to Kono, the guy that was alleged of perpetrating violence, he's a free man there.
Adam.
Look at, yes, check for life. He's a street man. He's a free man passing around, and these were the people. I mean, if you catch people with cutlasses and with machetes and so on in their homes, what do you do with them? I mean, you just take them to the court and find them one
It
million
could be
euros
agricultural
and-
implements.
no, but we do not have agricultural activity in Freetown. So what were they doing with
Backyard gardening.
I mean, I mean, Abdulrahman, let's save it
No,
for
no,
someone
no,
that
no,
but
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's
Yes,
serious.
Moses,
It's
yes.
actually serious.
Moses, quickly.
Well, as we are rounding up, must say, taking retired Brigadier Julius Maza Bio at this crucial time and Samoa Kama is a waste of time. And that is where we have been calling on capacitating institutions to take responsibility. We have the Human Rights Commission. They could play that role perfectly. We have the Interreligious Council. They could play that role perfectly. We have the National Commission for Democracy. They could play that role perfectly. We have the PPRC. They could play that role perfectly. Mind you, the people are hungry for development. The people are hungry for the new direction. And if you had 3 to 4 days of his term in office, you saw executive orders coming out. So he's hungry to let the people know about his free education policy, about his transformation of our economy, about how we could instill discipline. Mind you, we have now a unique opportunity to have a president who have been 16 to 17 years of his life he has been living under instruction, i.e. the military. The military is strict instructions. You eat is an instruction. You sleep is instruction. Even all those are contained. So it tells you now that we have a disciplined president. Let us just give him time to sit, and then you understand that the Solobi that this country missed 2007 because of fear of discipline, we have now got double of him.
So let me just take it quickly. What about that discipline? Taking that discipline to the communities and telling communities that stop watching.
That's why I said
don't
there are
think whether
institutions.
it is
There are
President
institutions.
Bio.
No,
If we are saying we are expecting President, we don't expect President Bio.
Elkas,
Yes.
I mean, we seem to be academic in all of what we are saying. I mean, I'm looking at practically things that are practical.
For him to go to every chiefdom.
Not every chiefdom.
Or every
It's not. You don't have to go to every chiefdom.
But he has to go to every district.
The trouble spots. If we can only go to the trouble spot and talk to people.
I want to ask this question. I want to ask this question. Let me put this question
forward. Putting his life in danger because
let me put this question to you. Let me put this question to you quickly. When President Bio was campaigning the length and breadth of this country, what prevented him from going to the places my colleague is now suggesting for him to go?
Okay, now there is an agenda. Every president that wins will be doing a thank you tour like any other president.
Or even when lives are missing.
Yes, no.
So he has to wait.
No, what I'm saying is that we
basically what are you trying to justify by not having him to go?
No. What we are saying is this is a new government.
He owes the people
of this already.
Are you aware that he owes the people of this country a duty of care?
Yes, but he has already sent out a message. He mentioned the national stadium. The national stadium. Everybody in this country, he will be going around.
How many people we are looking? How many people we are watching television?
No, what I'm saying, but the message went WhatsApp, social media, everything. What we are calling on is institutions, democratic and human rights institutions and religious institutions must act now. No. Donald Trump does not need to go to all the states in America for things to move. So we need to leave. We need to leave the president out of this and allow the PPRC, Human Rights Commission, National Commission for Democracy, those institutions, the Interreligious Council. They will. No, it's because they have been politicized.
Exactly.
APC have politicized them. That's what
I'm saying. Now, listen to them. So only Bio could set his foot out of his comfort zone and go and talk to these people. I tell you, the violence that we are seeing will stop henceforth.
If I can subscribe if you want me to subscribe to your submission, meaning I will say here authoritatively that the current police leadership has proved to be incompetent. Therefore, before they continue undermining the president's leadership, that's what I'm saying. Before they continue undermining the president, let them resign. Because at the end of the day, they are sacked. That's a display of incompetence. Therefore, they should resign.
What seems to be questionable in all of this?
Instead of sacking them.
Let me come.
No.
They should resign.
What seems to be questionable in all of these is how you arrive at your conclusion. That is one. And secondly, do you have the proof of any element of undermining?
Yes.
Do you have the proof?
For me, there is none.
To a larger extent, all of the statements perhaps you're saying seem to be pretty much explosive. We are saying undermining. We are saying let's appeal to our consciences. Let's allow the institution to work.
The best way we could put this violence behind our back is solution and profiling.
Exactly. This I
It's more than
think.
profiling.
This I think
It's
would
not
be
that
better
Julius
said.
Malabio should go
This I
to
think would be
every
better
local
said
and
in a
of this
situation
country.
where
Not what
if
I'm
he takes a
saying.
lead for now,
I tell
everybody
you,
is
if
yearning
Julius
to see him.
If
Oh,
President
Let
Bio
him come.
could get to
We-
Kenya
I'm coming.
today,
Okay.
I'm coming.
If-
Idea
if
say.
Bio- if
Idea
President Bio
say.
could get to Kenya
Let's be
today,
careful. Let's be careful the way we make pronouncements
Yeah.
Exactly.
as to whether the police is undermining this current
I'm not
administration.
sure they are.
I am not sure they are. I hold this conviction
Yeah.
wholeheartedly that they are not in any
They are
way
not.
undermining. They are independent. They are doing their job. On this note, I want to thank all of you gentlemen for sparing your time being part of this program. It's wonderful having you. Moses Mambu, thank you so much. I'm looking
I
forward
need
to
to be here again.
Yeah, no, I'm
That
looking
will
forward to
give
having
us-
a subsequent
Yeah.
edition.
Thank you.
Elka Sano, I promise having you in this edition I hear. Thank you so much. Mohamed Kone, thank you so much, gentlemen. Till then, I draw the curtain in this edition of the program. My name is Abdul Rahman Kanara.